Do you think that hormone therapy is risky and unnatural? You probably heard the rumors, blood clots, cancer, oh my gosh. But the truth is, all that stuff is outdated. Most of it has been disproven, but we don't share that from or shout that from the mountaintops like we did the original studies that scared everyone away from their hormone replacement. So that is what we're going to be talking about today. Hi. My name is Jennifer Gaudet. I am a nurse practitioner and I own Everyday Wellness located right here in Wichita, Kansas. So what are our options for hormone replacement therapy? Some really key words are going to be synthetic and bioidentical. So what is the difference there? So synthetic hormones are just that. They are made in a lab and they are meant to mimic our natural hormones. And the key word there is mimic. They are not hormones, they are chemicals. So what I like to focus on are bioidentical options. Bioidentical basically means that they molecularly match what our body naturally creates. So we normally will create, even our men will have estrogen, testosterone, and when we are using pellet therapy or any other bioidentical form of hormone replacement therapy, then it is a hormone. It is a hormone. They are hormones, but they are just from plant sources, which is great. So when we're talking about estrogen, we usually are sourcing that from yams. And if we're doing testosterone, then they're being sourced from a soy product. And then what we do is, if you watch my previous videos, you know we do a very comprehensive exam, lab, history intake, and then we plug all of that into the BHRT algorithm with your lab values, your symptoms, and we come up with the appropriate dose. So a lot of times too, another issue is what are some of the side effects that we're going to see? So since that we are going to focus mainly on bioidentical, since that is molecularly the same as what our body naturally creates, therefore the side effect profile is much less, and also your body is going to recognize them better and it's going to utilize them much more efficiently and naturally. And since we're doing it this way, there is no guessing. It's not a one size fits all. It's going to be very much tailored to fit you. I personally like to be very conservative in my approach because I tell all my patients it is like baking and cooking. I can always add more, but I cannot remove it once we get them implanted. So I personally like to be very conservative, because if maybe we boost your levels and you are feeling a little bit better but not quite what we want you to, or where we want you to be, then I can bring you back and boost you and give you more. Versus if I say, hey, I'm just going to give you this slightly bigger dose to make it last a little bit longer, we don't want that, because high levels of estrogen and testosterone are going to give you a lot of side effects. So let's talk about some of the rumors and myths that we hear about hormone replacement. The first one is hormone therapy causes cancer. No, that has been so disproven so many times. Originally, those studies were done studying elderly women that were already at a high risk of cardiac events. So it wasn't necessarily that their hormones caused these issues. It's just that they were naturally already at a high risk of these things. So the bioidentical hormone replacement has been studied for decades, and it has been proven that when we're doing bioidentical hormone replacement, it is cardioprotective, so it protects our heart. It is breast protective, so it protects us against breast cancer versus causing breast cancer. Now, of course, there are exceptions to that rule. That's why we have to be very patient specific, because we have to make sure it's the safest route for you, and it's also prostate protective as well. Another myth is once you start hormones, you can't stop. Well, that's not true either. I think another myth that kind of goes aligned with this one, a lot of what I hear from some of my clients that I onboard is, I've been on HRT for 10 years and my OBGYN took me off, said I'm kind of at the max, I have to stop now. So basically with bioidentical, again, we're just treating your symptoms, and it really just depends on what your goals are. So we kind of take it, day by day and based how you're feeling. And if you ever get to the point where you want to, if you've optimized your lifestyle and you have a lot of lifestyle modifications that you've made, for our men, maybe if you're overweight, estrogen stores in our fat cells. So it's not uncommon for when men lose some weight, that they're no longer estrogen dominant. They have higher testosterone levels now, and they feel that testosterone a little bit more because they don't have as much estrogen kind of canceling out some of that testosterone. So it does not have to be forever. It can be temporary. It just really depends on what your goals are. Side effects are unavoidable. Another big myth. It's a little bit kind of goes back to what I was saying about being conservative. I have personally taken my testosterone levels a little too high because I like my testosterone. It makes me feel great. But I like to share my stories, right? Because I'm a person, I'm on it, and I share the issues and what happened. So I have personally taken my T levels a little too high, and I grew a little soul patch right here. My little peach fuzz was a little dark, and that was not pleasant for me. So I just postponed my pellets for about 30 days extra, let those pellets burn off a little bit, and then I was more conservative on my next round. So I learned my lesson there. So we really talk about all these things. I have some clients that are just ready to get optimized. They're not afraid to kind of take that leap, and we give them a good healthy dose of estrogen and or testosterone, whatever they qualify for and need. I have other people that they are scared of hormones because a lot of what we hear in the news, they are scary sometimes. So we talk about everything. You cannot make a good educated decision if you don't have the information. So we have plenty of time in our appointments to discuss what to expect. What are your expectations? That way I can meet those with you and help guide you there. And then we are really conservative in our pelleting because pellets are very long acting. They last anywhere from 3 to 6 months. So we don't want to get them too high. We want to keep them very conservative because, like I said, I can bring you back and I can add a pellet if needed. I can boost you if needed. But once we implant them, they have to kind of ride the course. So being conservative to me is key when we're doing hormone replacement therapy. So I kind of shared my own one of my funny stories about growing a soul patch. But my personal story, how I ended up on pellets myself, is I am currently 43 years old. I have been in surgical menopause for the past 5 years, and like most of my clients, I had a wonderful GYN, and he placed me on an estrogen patch to preserve my cardiac health. I wasn't really into HRT at the time. It was kind of out of my wheelhouse because I was practicing a different area of medicine at that time. And I was like, I don't want to take an estrogen patch. I don't want to take a synthetic medicine. I just don't want to. If I'm going to go through menopause in 10 years naturally, then let me just suffer through it and get through it now. I went ahead and I called a friend of mine who is a physician's assistant at a very popular GYN area in my location here. And I asked her, I said, hey, do I really need to take this estrogen patch? I don't really want to. I'd rather just suffer through it and get to the other end of menopause. And she told me, absolutely not, Jennifer, you have to take it for your cardiac health. So I said, okay, I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to be a good patient for once in my life. And so I did. For 3 years, almost, maybe 4, I wore that estrogen patch, and, I didn't really suffer from hot flashes or anything like that. And I recovered. I suffered from a lot of things that I didn't realize were menopause related. So I went to physical therapy because I had a lot of pelvic floor issues myself, and physical therapy was okay. But what ultimately ended up happening that worked the best for me for that area was going and getting a personal trainer. What I found was my personal trainer, all of our warm-ups and cool-downs and a lot of our exercises were the exercises that physical therapy had me do. So again, it's not just hormones, it's really the big picture. I also was overweight. I think I've lost about 50 pounds. So again, I eat very protein focused. I work with a personal trainer to really strengthen my core, and that resolved a lot of my symptoms that I didn't realize were hormone related. And then, of course, I decided to implement HRT in my practice. So I went and got some extra education just so I would feel more comfortable. I went and got BHRT certified. And when I went for my BHRT certification, they offered to pellet me as well. And it didn't really dawn on me that I should do it or that I could do it because I was just kind of trucking along in my life. And I thought, well, if I'm going to be doing this to my patients, I should also try it and see. So I know what to expect. So I have a firsthand account of what to tell my patients what to expect. So I got pelleted on a Saturday, and honestly, I felt an improvement within days. I'm a very sensitive person. So I tend to feel things quickly. I like to manage your expectations better and say, hey, don't expect anything for about 3 to 4 weeks. I personally started sleeping better within days. My energy levels improved. My moods, I definitely was a mood swing victim. I talked about mood swings in the last video. I could snap like that, 0 to 100 all the time. And I really didn't think anything of it because I've always been that way. I'm a Virgo. I'm a little cray sometimes. But I can tell you that I have been getting pelleted for 1 year now, and I will never go back. I am so much more, calm and level-headed in my personal life, and that I just would never go back, because I really feel like my family, they deserve an award. They deserve an award for the years that they dealt with my imbalanced hormones. So that's my story. Again, I thought estrogen was all I needed. My testosterone, again, I'm like addicted to the testosterone. I feel so much better, so much stronger. I have struggled with my weight most of my life. I do medical weight loss is the bulk of my business. I know we talk about hormone replacement here quite a bit. But I really started with medical weight loss. I love it because I struggled again with my weight my whole life as well. And today at 43, I am healthier than I ever have been in my entire life. I strength train twice a week. I go to Pilates twice a week, and I eat protein focused. I do not restrict my food. I sleep great, and I have a lot of energy, which I need because I'm the mom of 2 very young boys. I own a business. And I'm a wife. So I have lots and lots of stuff going on just like you do. So that's one of my favorite stories. I'll tell you my story. It has been life-changing. And I really highly recommend that if you're feeling any of the symptoms related to hormonal imbalance, that you don't let that fear stop you from getting treatment, or at least trying it. Again, you don't have to do it forever. If you don't like it, if it's not your thing, then you don't have to do it. There's nothing that makes you do it. But if it can help, then I really encourage you to try it. Because again, life-changing, not just for myself, but almost all of my clients will say the same thing, life-changing. So definitely be open-minded to it. And then one just last thing I'd like to mention is to shop around for your provider. Obviously, I would love for you to come and see me. I very much enjoy getting to know my clients. That way I can really make a tailored treatment plan for you and help optimize your life for you. Figure out what's missing so I can help replenish those sources of energy for you. We will talk about nutrition. We talk about exercise, sleep, meditation, whatever it is that's bothering you. I will do my best to kind of get in the weeds with you and help pull you out of there. So I very much encourage you to find a provider that you like, that you trust, that you can speak honestly and openly with. Do your exams, get your preventive health stuff, we'll do your labs, and then really get you feeling better again. So if this is at all interesting to you, I would love if you would check out my website. It is www.everydaywellnesswichita.com. And if you are local and want to make an appointment, there is a button right there to click to make an appointment to talk to me live and in person here in Wichita, Kansas. So I hope you have a great day. Thanks so much for watching.